The Chicago Bears' new GM and head coach had their introductory press conference today, so I'm here to react to it and give you guys my thoughts. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video talking, of course, NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears, of course. And if you're a Bears fan, hit the big red subscribe button. Follow me on my social media platforms and hit the bell icon so you are notified every time I drop a new video. All right, folks. So I watched that entire press conference, every single second of it. And we got a lot to say. So let's not waste any time. All right, people. So as I mentioned, I watched the entire press conference and I took a lot of notes. There's a lot to discuss here, okay? A lot to discuss. But let me start by saying this. Big picture, okay? Press conferences don't win football games, all right? They're just what they are, press conferences. And this was an introductory press conference, which every team does for a new GM or a new head coach, or both in the case of the Chicago Bears. Okay? And the bar is so low for a press conference, at least for me, that as long as you don't make yourself look like an idiot, like Adam Gase did with the Jets a few years ago, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine because at the end of the day, especially on teams that haven't won a lot, like the Chicago Bears in terms of Super Bowls, if you have a great press conference and you don't win a lot of football games, no one cares about the great press conference. If you have a bad press conference and you win a lot of football games, nobody cares about the bad press conference. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is take it with a grain of salt here. It's just a press conference. All right, let's get on with it here, folks. My biggest takeaways from what I heard and saw in the press conference, I'm just going to do quick hits here just so we're not here all day. Obviously, you guys want me to just get you guys the important stuff, and that's what I'm going to give you. Matt Eberflus mentioned that he will not, N-O-T not, call plays on defense. So he is going to oversee the entire football team in a CEO executive type of manner. So the defense coordinator, which he mentioned they still have to hire, will be calling the plays. And I like this. I do like this because I want my football coach, my head football coach, to be the GM, to be the CEO of the entire operation. And I want him to be in that executive style role because if you're just focused on one side of the football, maybe sometimes you have blinders on for the other side. I'm not saying I'm against that in terms of coaching one side of the football if you're a head coach, but I'm just saying I like this. I like this for a change because we all know like Matt Nagy would call plays on offense. So Matt Eberflus is going to oversee everything, okay? And by the way, Sean Desai, we don't know if he's going to be the new DC or because, again, he was the old DC. I don't know if they're going to get a new one in here. Basically, the point is that is still TBD. So we'll see on that. Second thing, early on through the press conference, they were very discreet, very secretive, or non-committal, I should say, not even secretive, non-committal about Justin Fields in terms of talking about their confidence in him. Okay, at the end, they kind of opened up and said, they're very happy about having Justin and they're, all about trying to improve around Justin. But early on, I mean, Ryan Poles and these guys that were like, yeah, the player you talked about, and we're not going to get into the specifics of players. Like, this is your franchise quarterback. If you came in here and you are not a fan of Justin Fields, I don't know why you took the job because the last guy who did that, Matt Nagy, with Mitchell Trubisky, again, part of the reason Mitch Trubisky failed. Now, we all know he was not that talented in terms of, what he brought to the table compared to maybe a Justin Fields, but I didn't like that part. Now, again, later on, they warmed up to it, and maybe they were going with the attitude of, it's a fresh start for everybody, so we don't want to just single out a certain player in its team before individuals. I get all that, and Justin Fields came out later and had his own press conference, so that's actually a stamp of approval for how much this team believes in Justin Fields. So I'm not worried, but I'm just saying in the press conference, I didn't like that. And again, they could have been a little bit more committal towards Justin Fields, but still, I would hope so that they're all in on Justin now that they took the job knowing he is the quarterback. All right, Matt Eberflus wants the Bears' identity to be the following: detailed, intense, and disciplined. He even actually took a shot at Matt Nagy talking about all the penalties that he wants to clean up or something along those lines, which is kind of funny to me. But yeah, identity, detailed, intense, disciplined. Again, folks, coach speak here. Nothing too much to take away. This is great. Obviously, you want to be detailed, you want to be intense, you want to be disciplined, but you can put out all these words. Again, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying this is coach speak. Like this is what coaches say. All right, moving on. Ryan Poles said the Bears can be competitive immediately because somebody asked him if this is going to be a retool or a rebuild. And obviously, citing the Bengals, who in Joe Burrow's second year have gotten to the Super Bowl. And Ryan Poles said, yeah, absolutely, the Bears can be competitive immediately, which I like. Because in this aspect, you could say, hey, we don't know if we're ready yet. It's going to take some time, blah, blah, blah. So the fact that he said, no, we can be competitive immediately, and I have plans about that, good sign. I like that, Ryan Poles. All right, Ryan Poles wants to build through the draft. That's what he mentioned. Again, that's fine. Good teams are built through the draft, so you do like that. Matt Eberflus mentioned the Bears will be a 4-3 defense, so they are switching again. So they are going from a 3-4 to a 4-3 defense. This will be the third time Matt Eberflus has gone through that change again. Not too concerned here. We should be fine making this change, but just something to note. Analytics will be involved in a part of the process with the Bears. Both Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus talked about this, and I love this because analytics should absolutely be a part of the equation. And the fact that they are going to keep that as part of the process, I love that. Okay, so analytics, huge. If you don't use analytics, I don't know what you're doing. It is crucial in today's NFL. Matt Eberflus says the Bears will play with a high-tempo, high-effort attacking style based on speed and athletic ability. I thought this was interesting because he was very specific here, right? High-tempo, high-effort, speed, athletic ability, even talking about running with track shoes. And yeah, I guess he's putting an emphasis on that, which is good. Again, today's NFL is all about speed. You have to have that, yards after the catch, playmakers making that ability to do so high effort. Again, a lot of coach speak here, which is fine, but I did like that. All right. So those are some of the big takeaways here. Again, there was more stuff, but some of the things that I found interesting. As far as, Eberflus and Ryan Poles and their demeanor, again, Matt Eberflus, traditional, coach-like speak that you get from a coach. It is a calm, cool, and collected demeanor, which I like. And somebody actually asked him about that. Is like, are you intense enough or not? And it's like, dude, this is who I am. When obviously we get out into the football field, I'm going to be intense when I need to be, but he's not running through a wall or yelling at the top of his lungs at a press conference. Ryan Poles, pretty composed as well. He got a little emotional at the beginning too, talking about his family and how hard he worked to get to this position. And then, the quote of the day kind of that fired everybody up was that he mentioned the Bears are going to take the North and never give it back. Obviously, you love to hear that. So overall, folks, again, no red flags for me. These guys look smart. They look like they know what they're doing. They look like they have a plan in place. All good things. All good things. I'll tell you this much, right? At the end of the day, if you had to pick between, talking and not talking, it's more results than talk. And I don't want talk. I want results. But at the end of the day, the season doesn't start until September, and all you can do until then is talk. So again, I understand that. So overall, my summary on kind of the press conference here is there's no red flags. These guys look solid. They look like they know what they're doing. They look like they have a plan in place. I've mentioned to you guys before that my vote of confidence would have came with somebody who I know has done this before. So to me, I reserve the right to hold off that confidence because, again, I haven't seen them do it before. These are both first-time guys at their positions. Ryan Poles is a GM, Matt Eberflus is a head coach. And so for me to go out and say to you guys, hey, guys, I truly feel like these are the guys that are going to put the Bears back on the map. I can't do that because I don't believe that yet. And you know what? This is one of those where you got to show me before I obviously go ahead and put my faith in you. Obviously, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic, and I'm always the glass half full guy, and I want these guys to succeed, and we'll be rooting for them. But if you're asking me right now, Faiz, give me a vote of confidence in Eberflus and Poles, I can't do that yet because, again, I haven't seen it, and until I do, I'm going to reserve my right to do so. And I would have told you this. Listen, if these guys blew me away and they were absolutely incredible, I would have told you. I have a strong feeling about this. I don't. I think they're solid though. And hopefully they pan out. And that's all Bears fans can hope for. Right, I'm crossing my fingers here as I'm speaking about this. But results over talk. right? Results over talk. That's all we care about at this point. So I am going to, again, let them do their thing. They look solid. There's no red flags. But at the end of the day, my vote of confidence will come when I see the results, not from me just projecting from people that haven't done the job before. So wish them the best of luck, Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus. Ryan and Matt back in the building, but jokes, of course, folks. They're completely different from Pace and Nagy. So, and by the way, keep in mind, Matt Nagy very good at talking. Ryan Pace solid as well at talking. Those guys would communicate really well. So that's not indicative of obviously being good and successfully building a football team. So keep that in mind. Again, I'm not trying to put the optimism down here, but I'm just letting you guys know that for me to let you guys know these are my guys that I'm putting my faith in, I'm not doing that yet. I'm waiting and seeing. I'm taking that approach. Let me know what approach you guys are taking, what you saw from the press conference. Leave a comment down below as always. Thanks for watching.